Soap Weekend Contest, brought to you by Colgate Total. Enter before October 21st for a chance to win a trip for you and 3 friends to hang out with me and your favorite soap stars, like who? Maybe that one. At Walt Disney World in Florida. To enter, go to abc.com, The View. Tell us why in 50 words or less you deserve to win a trip to Super Soap Weekend. Or you can go to rosie.com and I'll send you on over to The View. Please enter and please win. Okay, back to the topics. Now, it was a big weekend on all the morning news shows. Did you watch? The whole Foley scandal seems to have erupted into a catastrophe for the nation in some capacity.
Yeah, but you know, the Koreans apparently have exploded a nuclear weapon. That's really more important than this, but there's nothing to say about it except, okay, stop it. Let's go on to Mark Foley. Stop it already. Now let's do this.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a lot of people are calling for the resignation of Hastert. You know,
Hastert.
Yeah, Hastert.
Yeah, Hastert.
They're calling for his resignation. And I don't know, what do you think? If it was a school principal who knew that there was a teacher sending inappropriate IM messages to a 16-year-old student, the principal knew and decided to keep him on staff. And not only that, when the teacher said, I want to retire, the principal said, no, we want you to stay. Because we need... What would happen to that principal?
I think the principal would need to either be fired or step down. And I think in this case, anyone involved in either a cover-up or maybe even holding on to information on the other political side until it was appropriate to bring it out right before midterm elections should also step down. Anyone using this, when this involved a team, should step down, and anyone misusing this information shouldn't be in office. I just don't...
So you think he should...
I don't think this is I don't see it as a partisan issue.
I think it's very disturbing that it's become a political issue. This is not a political issue. This is about the safety of children, as you began this topic, this is a national problem and a horror that we're witnessing, and it should not be politicized. There's too much that's being politicized. There are issues here that are much more important than politics.
The thing that I don't like about it is that I've been reading that the evangelicals, who normally would be very righteous about this, are now sort of saying, well, it's Foley only, and the people in the higher ups that you're describing who didn't say anything, they should not be held accountable. And
are they saying that, or are they saying the Republicans in general should? I think they're saying the Republicans in general should not be held accountable.
Also, Hastert and those people, they're pointing just the finger at Foley. And it's also becoming like a gay issue instead of an issue of child molestation or child, solicitation, really, not molestation. Nothing's been proved that he molested a kid. It's just been on the internet. Right, but now they're making it that he has a lifestyle, and it's about that. And that upsets me a little bit because, as you said just the other day, most child molestations occur from heterosexual men to female.
Well, according to the FBI, 95% of pedophiles are heterosexual men.
Towards women, towards girls.
Towards children.
Well, children, girls,
That's
young
what
girls.
it is, children. It's the gender, exactly. And most pedophiles don't discriminate between the gender of the child.
No, because it's about power.
Yes, it is about power.
So that's what it's about. I don't like that exactly, and you know, I mean, everybody...
It is Foley should be held accountable for this. I mean, this and anyone else involved. If they were indeed involved, they should also be held accountable. But it isn't. I think what they're arguing is against the notion that this is a Republican problem and it's a systemic issue going on the Republican side. I don't think that's the case.
No, but to say that it's not politicized is really naive, since they did that to Bill Clinton and had him impeached for something that was between, I mean, she was already an adult, even though I don't condone that behavior.
What, are you talking about the fact that he had an intern in his Oval Office while being a married man and should have been dealing with other things in our nation while receiving oral sex?
But wait a second. Wait. I agree with you, but that is a morality issue. That is not a legal issue. This guy is coming on to kids underage.
Absolutely.
Monica may have been chubby, but she was older.
Right, she was older. But I'm saying he should... The Democrats weren't held accountable for that. That was Bill Clinton.
Well, he was held accountable. The Democrats were held accountable.
He was personally accountable for their behavior.
Right,
personally.
Right, but he was impeached for that. And so now we have a current administration that fabricates rules for wars.
I don't know
that
about
yes, they fabricated the reason for the war, and over 3,000 American men and women have died fighting this fabricated war. That's rules for impeachment, right there.
I think that it depends on your philosophy about this war, and that's an entirely different conversation. I mean, this war is long-term going to protect us against terrorism, and that is something that I believe.
I do believe that. What I've been reading is that the war in Iraq has increased jihadism around the world, that it has created more terrorists than it we had before that. So how do you justify that?
Do you really hope that the people in our country who go to the think tanks, the really great minds in this country, will come together, not to discuss politics, but to discuss how to protect our children, how to protect our national security, how to protect our civilization as we know it.
But that's politics.
I guess I see the war on terror.
I would get the greatest minds from every side, not just let's have the Republicans do it or the Democrats.
Because there's so much, I mean, it can be a toxic
But
community,
how do you think it will help? I'm curious that you think that this current war will help us defeat quote-unquote terrorists.
I do.
So tell me how.
I believe that I don't see the war in Iraq as an isolated war. I believe that the war on terror is something that covers wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. I believe that we need to make a long-term decision, and that's what we're doing. Did we take all the necessary and proper steps?
Well, wait.
Maybe not.
Then do you think then that we should have invaded North Korea that just recently built a nuclear bomb? Are we supposed to invade North Korea? Because that seems more threatening.
I think we need to evaluate our military and evaluate how our personnel level and see what we can handle before we invade another nation.
What happens, though. They were not capable of handling this war, and yet we're using up all of our resources there. And now when another threat comes from another part of the world that's way more scary than Iraq ever was, they haven't got the resources to do it. And they don't have the world behind us anymore because we've squandered all of our goodwill all around the world. And it's frightening.
To the troops and the people in the armed forces to say we've squandered their resources when I don't believe that that's the case. I mean, I think there are a lot of people who do believe that we're there for a reason, including those who are on foot, armed with weapons, and are fighting this.
I'm not talking about them right now. I'm talking about policy right now. Wait a minute.
Kids.
Don't make it like...
Mommy's the moderator. Mommy.
The older sister would like to just finish
but they're giving me the rap and give away the presents.
Just a minute. I do not like when the argument goes to that you're not supporting the troops. I am supporting the troops.
I know you are.
Everyone, all the men in my family fought in World War II. Yes. I protested the war in Vietnam. My husband we had to, I mean, he was going to be drafted. Steve was in the National Guard. That is totally a false argument, so please don't give that to me.
I wasn't presenting a false argument. I'm just saying in general when people say
don't bring it to them, Elizabeth.
But it is there. I mean, we sit here talking about it. They're fighting about it.
Okay, now. Let me give the gift away, please.
Wait, one second. One second.
Again, yes.
People who are against the war love the soldiers enough to risk the national vilification of being unpatriotic in order to bring them home. Mothers like me are willing to be called unpatriotic by people who don't understand as long as we can start talking about an exit strategy so not one more family has to suffer the loss of their own.
I say this now?
Go.
You can, but I just would like... Fine, go ahead.
We have all year. We have all year. Go.
Go ahead, say your last word.
Here, you hold this.
You get the last word because you're the youngest.
Go, do it.
Because I'm the youngest. I just think, go, Joy.
All right, Joy, go.
Thanks to Elizabeth for being so brave against all of us, and thanks to Sam's Club for a brand new Casio EX 6.0 MP digital camera value.